General Thraxon of the Hegemony War College stood before the holographic display, his scaled hide rippling with anticipation. After months of preparation, the ultimate military assessment was ready, a grueling trial designed to break even the most elite soldiers across known space. The Human Integration Protocol will demonstrate once and for all why Earth's forces should remain auxiliary support, he declared to his assembled staff. No species has ever completed Phase 1 of the Crucible without significant casualties. The test was legendary throughout military circles. The Krillian Death Guard had lost 30% of their candidates. The Zephyrian Stormtroopers, considered the galaxy's most resilient warriors, had suffered complete psychological breakdown by Phase 3. Even the cybernetically enhanced Nexus Prime soldiers had required extensive medical intervention. "Sir," his aide whispered nervously, "perhaps we should inform the humans about the historical outcomes?" Thraxon's mandibles clicked dismissively. They requested full integration into hegemony forces. They will receive the same evaluation as everyone else. The human delegation arrived on schedule. 50 soldiers led by a compact female with weathered features and calm eyes. Colonel Martinez reviewed the briefing materials with the same expression she might use for a weather report. Standard physical endurance trials, tactical problem solving under extreme stress, survival scenarios, and psychological pressure testing. She summarized. Duration: 72 hours continuous. Any questions from my team? A young soldier raised his hand. Ma'am, is this before or after the actual assessment? Confused murmurs rippled through the alien observers. Thraxon leaned forward on his command platform. This is the assessment, human. Oh, Martinez replied mildly. Understood, sir. Phase 1 commenced at dawn. The course began with a 40-kilometer forced march through varying terrain while carrying full combat loads. Historical data showed most species required 12 hours minimum, with many failing to complete the distance. The humans finished in 3 hours and 47 minutes. Sir, the monitoring officer reported, his voice strained. They're asking if there's a cooldown period before the next phase. Cooldown? Thraxon sputtered. Begin Phase 2 immediately. Phase 2 involved tactical combat scenarios while maintaining peak physical performance. Candidates faced holographic enemies, environmental hazards, and limited ammunition while sleep-deprived and exhausted. The Nexus Prime soldiers had required 4 attempts to pass. The humans treated it like an elaborate training exercise. They rotated sleep schedules, shared resources efficiently, and maintained communication protocols that impressed even the War College's tactical instructors. Their stress hormone levels are actually decreasing, reported the medical monitor, staring at his instruments in disbelief. How is that possible? By Phase 3, Thraxon was no longer confident. The psychological pressure portion involved sensory deprivation, fear-based scenarios, and mental puzzles designed to shatter focus. The humans emerged discussing optimization strategies for their interesting meditation session. General, his chief psychologist approached hesitantly. The humans are asking if we have more challenging versions available. They say this reminds them of something called basic training but easier. Easier? Thraxon's voice rose to a roar. Phase 4 was the survival challenge. 72 hours in a hostile environment with minimal supplies. Previous candidates had required rescue operations or intensive medical intervention. The War College kept trauma counselors on standby. The humans built a functional camp, established hunting and foraging routines, and began what they called field improvements to the environment. By day 2, they had engineered water purification systems and were teaching local wildlife to avoid their perimeter. Sir, the monitoring team reported, they're asking if they can extend the exercise. They say they're just getting warmed up. The final insult came during debriefing. While other species typically required weeks of recovery and psychological support, the humans filled out their evaluation forms with practical suggestions. The obstacle course could benefit from increased difficulty, one soldier noted. Maybe add some vertical elements or time pressure. Another added, the survival portion was relaxing, but you might consider reducing the supply allowance to make it more challenging. Colonel Martinez approached Thraxon's platform with a professional salute. Sir, excellent training exercise. My troops found it refreshing after our recent deployment. When do we start the actual assessment? Thraxon stared at her with a mixture of horror and dawning comprehension. Colonel, that was the assessment. Oh. Martinez considered this thoughtfully. Well, sir, if that's your standard, I think you'll find humans are ready for whatever the galaxy can throw at us. We've been preparing for this kind of thing since we were children. Since childhood? Thraxon whispered. Yes, sir. We call it summer camp. As the humans filed out, discussing lunch plans and whether they'd have time for their regular afternoon training session, Thraxon realized the galaxy's understanding of human capability needed serious revision. The test designed to crush Earth's finest had become their morning warm-up routine. Perhaps it was time to ask the humans what they considered challenging.